Live on ESPN from the Chelsea here at the Cosmopolitan, Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing scheduled for the vacant WBC USNBC Super Lightweight Championship. Presented by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions y Cerveza Tecate Born Bowl. And sponsored by Hennessy. Never stop, never settle. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the Executive Director, Bob Bennett. Your 3 judges scoring at ringside on the 10-point must system, Adelaide Bird, Patricia Morse-Jarman, and Glenn Trowbridge. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Russell Mora. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the judges are ready. The fighters are ready. Make some noise if you are ready! Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing tonight black with silver and red, he weighed in officially 139 1/2 pounds. In 17 professional bouts, he stands perfect with 16 victories, no defeats, 1 draw, 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from and fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri, here is the undefeated Keandre, the Truth Gibson! And next, his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing red with black and gold, he weighed in officially 139 1/2 pounds. He too stands perfect in 25 bouts, 25 victories, no defeats, 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the fighting pride of San Diego, California, the undefeated, relentless Antonio Orozco.
Centering. Okay, gentlemen, trunks here are good. Trunks here are good. His belly button is here. Anything below this is a foul. Gentlemen, protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. God bless you both. Touch up.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for, our main event of the evening. 2 unbeaten fighters. Antonio Orozco with a 25-0 record with 16 knockouts representing Mexico. And Keandre Gibson out of St. Louis, Missouri with a 16-0-1 record and 7 knockouts. Will it be the skills, the boxing, the technique of Keandre Gibson? Or will Antonio Orozco be true to his nickname and be relentless and break down the fighter from St. Louis? That is the question for tonight's fight. Bernard Hopkins alongside Bernardo Osuna here at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. It's a chess match early on, B-Hop.
Yeah, both guys undefeated. Both guys wants to make sure that they make the right moves and the right punch. And you just seen just now, Gibson throws 2 jabs in the right hand over the top. And you know what? These, they want to throw combinations early on, but then it's going to like settle down. And when they settle down, that's when you're going to see some real fireworks. But I'm looking for some really aggressive early. But then they're going to get settled in, and then we're going to see a real fight break out. Oh,
the body shots open up the head of Keandre Gibson, and Antonio Orozco takes early advantage, but Keandre Gibson punching back, showing that he's in this fight to stay. Nice jab by Gibson.
Antonio threw a nice little uppercut in the exchange that, caught Gibson right on the chin.
Now the physique of Gibson is impressive for a 140-pound fighter, and Orozco maybe not as much, but it's the strength behind those punches that really counts. The physique of a fighter doesn't measure the strength.
It doesn't measure the strength. What measures the strength is you're born a puncher or you're not. I think most of it comes with the leverage and how the punch land and what position you're in. Gibson right now is really circling to his left, and he's letting that left hand go, but the right hand is going to be key for Gibson because he's looking to sneak that in right after
Orozco.
Antonio leaves his left hand out too long. When he leaves his left out too long, Gibson going to try to counter with the right hand.
Looking for Orozco to make a mistake as he goes to the body. He saw how effective it was for Orozco early on. He says, if it works for you, it's going to work for me. We know that Orozco's going to look for the body, and that's one way to break down a fighter that looks as good as Gibson does early on.
You know, in the first 2 rounds, when 2 undefeated fighters normally fight, they're gonna get they punches through here and there, but it comes a time where both guys is gonna have to be like, I gotta take the lead, and that's when you're gonna really start seeing more than 1, 2, 3 combinations coming, because both of them know they both are gaining points and also leverage by getting shots off that they want to get off, but they gotta take control. They're not taking really control of each other right now. It's sort of standstill.
Filling each other out here in round 1 are Orozco and Gibson. That is Jorge Linares, the WBA Ring Magazine and WBC Diamond World Lightweight Champion, coming off of a title defense in Manchester, England against Anthony Crawler in a rematch. Looked as impressive as ever. One of the most skilled fighters out there today.
Very skilled, patient, and got a lot of big things coming up. And I just like to see him progress like he's doing right now. Great fight the other night.
The chin is a big question when it's Jorge Linares, but when he's outboxing you, there's absolutely nothing you can do. Antonio Orozco taking on Keandre Gibson here in our main event in Las Vegas, where everyone dreams of headlining a show here in Sin City, and that's exactly what Keandre Gibson and Antonio Orozco are doing. Orozco really suffered to make 140 pounds. He looked really dry, drawn out yesterday, but he seems to have rehydrated pretty well.
Yeah, his skin seems to have a little gloss to it. He don't seem dry and drawn in. I mean, so his energy there. But, we'll see later. A few rounds go by, some punches be landed and punches be missed, and we'll see where the nutrition comes in. And both of these guys talk that they're in great shape. They fought great sparring. They had great sparring in the gym. And right now they are giving and taking at the same time.
Orozco trying to work to the body as Russell Mora, the third man in the ring, gave the first warning about those shots on the borderline. Gibson's step is a little bit high for trying to protect himself. He knew what he was facing in a body puncher, and that's exactly where Orozco's trying to go. He has had points deducted for low blows. It's Gibson who lands a really good shot to the body with the left hook.
Both guys, Gibson and Antonio, have good defense, and they keep their hands up high. One of these guys have to go around the elbow and start hitting the ribs and then shoot the punch up on an angle, which is a left uppercut or right uppercut, because they're both anticipating punches coming. They got their hands up high, so you sort of got to throw a decoy punch to the body, but come right up, like a Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson used to hit you to the body and sort of on an angle come up with a right hand or left hand to knock you out with an uppercut.
Orozco ducking down using his legs as Gibson lands to the top of his head, and after what we saw with Jason Quigley, who broke his hand in round 2 of last week's main event and fought valiantly throughout the fight, and we'll talk about that more. It's not it's not the part of the body you want to hit.
Well, you want to go right around your glove of the guy, your opponent. Gibson need to go around Antonio's gloves so he won't hit the top of the forehead. Go around like a right hook or left hook.
Nice,
just like he just did a left hook now.
That was Orozco.
He has to go around those guards.
And it was Orozco now who's teeing off here as round 2 comes to its culminating moments, and that's why they call him relentless. And if you are gonna be against the ropes, this is where Orozco is going to look to make you pay. He works to the body, he works to the head, he tries to go around your guard, and this is not where you want to be if you're Keandre Gibson as round 2 comes to an end.
Penfed's got
Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN is presented by Tecate, born bold. And Keandre Gibson is going to have to be bold because Gerald Reed was very concerned about the body language of Keandre Gibson. B-Hop, those body shots from Orozco are really hurting Gibson.
Yeah, it seemed to be under distress. I mean, he was having a really deep conversation in the corner of Gibson, and he seems to be saying about his right side of his ribs or his stomach or around that area. There seemed to be a little distress, a little conversation about that. But, you know, I'm looking to see what happens in this next couple of minutes. If he get hit in that same spot, what his reaction will be.
And look at how he's tucking that right elbow. That's telling. And Orozco knows exactly where to go, B-Hop.
Yeah,
Just
he
go
goes
right after
back
it.
like a true student would do when he's told to go right to the spot that you know that you got a reaction from Gibson.
Orozco seems to know that there's a reason that Gibson is tucking that right elbow because he keeps going to the body. Now that's the second warning from the referee Russell Mora as to low blows, but that's exactly where Antonio Orozco does his damage. He talks about breaking opponents down, and both guys have different heroes. For Keandre Gibson, it was Freddie Norwood, a slick fighter with some pop. For Antonio Orozco, there was no doubt. It was Jose Luis Castillo, Andre Ward, and the Marquez brothers. Different styles completely.
Definitely different styles, but how Gibson, and what he should do to keep Antonio off him is to throw a jab and then plant his feet for a right uppercut on that foot. He cannot continue to let Antonio run in. Low blow.
Now there's a low blow, no doubt about that one, and Antonio Orozco will now have some time, up to 5 minutes, to walk it off, and here comes the warning. The warning had been earlier for Gibson, but B-Hop, no doubt about that one.
Oh, definitely a low blow. And, you know, I don't think it was intentional. They both exchange of punches. But let me tell you, I think that Gibson need now to keep Antonio off him is to continue to throw punches from a slight distance and plant his feet for a right uppercut on that foot and continue to churn Antonio. Churn, but not go straight back.
And this is where Keandre Gibson looking to capitalize after the low blow. Before your opponent gets 100% recovered, you got to take advantage of that situation. He lands a nice right to the body as well.
And how you take advantage of that is Gibson has to punch when Antonio punch. When Antonio punch, he should punch with the opposite hand and catch Antonio maybe open, maybe with a body shot, at least to make him think and be conscious of walking straight to Gibson without having any repercussions.
Round 3 coming to an end here at the Cosmo. This is our main event. Antonio Orozco taking on Keandre Gibson. How about we hang out here and listen in to the Hennessy corner cam. Hennessy, never stop, never settle corner cam.
He ain't nothing. You see it? He ain't nothing. Come on, do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. Listen. 2 jabs, he don't fire. He only fires when you do the cover. Yeah, he only fires when you cover up. If you don't cover up, he don't punch, okay?
And let's get distant.
Boxing from a distance. Look, on the uppercuts, where's my outside, up the center, Mike Tyson, outside, up the center, and hide your head. But we shouldn't even be using that defense because we're supposed to be getting out first. So let's get out first. You looking good, but don't let him catch up. No reason. Keep it in the center of the ring. Come on, baby. You that man. You that man.
It's hard to disagree, Mr. Hopkins, when Gerald Green basically repeats what you said minutes ago, right? About the Mike Tyson situation.
Yes, a perfect angle punch in this situation.
All right, this is round 4 of a 10-round main event. Bernard Hopkins alongside Bernardo Osuna here on Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN. Antonio Relentless Orozco being true to his name, to his moniker. And Keandre Gibson trying to figure out this puzzle named Antonio Orozco. Let's take a look at the total punch stats so far through 4 rounds. And they're both landing at the same percentage, but the amount of punches thrown for Orozco means 19 more punches landed for the fighter out of San Diego, California. And it's showing on the physique of Gibson.
Look, Gibson has a great physique, but that physique has to come to use. He has to listen to his corner, and that is what? Plant his feet. Antonio's coming in like now. He must throw that right uppercut, but he must touch him with the right uppercut to the stomach, to the arms, and then take it on an angle. Because Antonio was leaning forward over his left leg, and he's right there to get hit. But he must have set it up off the jab to make it a decoy punch, and then fire with that right hand.
Oh, now he gets dropped with a big right hand from Antonio Orozco to the temple.
From a distance, it was a good leverage shot that Gibson never seen.
Fight is over. The fight is over. A TKO knockout win for Antonio Orozco. When Russell Mora asked Keandre Gibson, do you want to continue? And there was no answer, B-Hop. That's all you needed to know.
I think he gave a nod, and it said no.
Big win for Antonio Orozco. Tonight was about either redemption or recognition. And what we got was redemption. You know about redemption. How sweet is it for Antonio Orozco to get into the world title hunt once again?
Sweeter than honey. Sweeter than honey.
All right, let's take a look at how this came to an end.
He shipped the jab, and it was a quick right hand. And you know what? Gibson didn't even see it because he was ducking away from the jab that he didn't see. And the punches that you don't see, that's the one that gets you.
And the worst part is Gerald Green says if you throw your jab, he doesn't know what to do. The fact that Keandre Gibson was not throwing punches allowed Antonio Orozco to set him up, to measure him, and to land that beautiful right to the temple that in the end gives him the knockout victory. And Keandre Gibson still is a little bit on Cruz Street.
Look, when you come through the front door and then the back door is open, the back door was the right hand, and he's seen the jab. The jab was the front door, and the right hand was the back door, and Gibson never seen the punch that put him down.
At the fighter meetings, we asked Keandre Gibson, do you feel like you have less of a window to make mistakes? He said he didn't feel that way because of his boxing skill, but because Antonio Orozco has that eraser, that power in the right hand, it proved to be right tonight.
Absolutely. He's dangerous all the time. As long as he got that right hand loaded like he had, he's dangerous to anybody step in the ring with him.
We said somebody's O had to go. Joe Martinez with the particulars in the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes officially. 1 minute, 31 seconds. Round number 4. We have your winner by TKO victory. He is now the new and still the undefeated WBC, USNBC super lightweight champion, relentless, Antonio Orozco.
There you have your winner tonight, who improves to 26-0 and 17 knockouts. When we return, Antonio Orozco comes and sits ringside alongside Bernardo.